Hi, I'm Dan Bradbury, and it's great to be talking to you today. I've been the Chief Product Officer here at UpGuard for nearly 4 years. Before that, I spent a long time working in the financial services industry, where I had a lot of exposure to the importance and challenge of protecting customer data. Today, I'll run through some of the ways our platform can help protect your data. I'll cover a few of our latest features and tell you about some exciting things we're working on. About 4 years ago, we realised we had an opportunity to help companies manage their cyber risk. Cast your mind back. The amount of data in the world was well and truly exploding. I'm sure many of you have heard the stat that 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 2 years. So we're seeing a massive increase in data. At the same time, outsourcing and cloud computing are on the rise, which means this data is being distributed all over the internet. To get a sense of the scale of this, Okta now estimates that on average, companies have around 190 SaaS providers. So the vendor landscape is becoming more complex. As a result of this, not surprisingly, data breaches are becoming more common. Back in 2015, almost half of all businesses experienced a security incident. The thing that's become clearer since is that data is often not leaked by you, but by someone in your supply chain, one of your vendors. Up to 60% of data breaches today involve a third party. So companies started rightly taking a greater interest in the security of their vendors. But this was not easy. Vendor assessments were manual and slow to conduct. They were buried in spreadsheets, attached to emails. For a lot of companies, vendors were maybe assessed when they were onboarded and rarely reassessed. Even fewer had any kind of continuous monitoring in place. There were a few solutions emerging to help manage this process, but most were too expensive to use across an entire vendor portfolio. Plus, you kind of had to choose between a security rating solution or something to manage questionnaires, or maybe you had to buy both. And finally, cybersecurity software didn't exactly have a reputation of being easy to use, so we knew we could do better. Fast forward to 2020 and UpGuard is protecting the data of some of the biggest and best companies in the world. We've created a platform that is now scanning everything all the time. For you, this means that when you want to monitor a new vendor, you don't need to wait for us. We're monitoring nearly 10 million companies already, so chances are we know about your vendors. And if not, we can monitor new companies instantly. We identify risks from multiple sources and provide you with a consolidated view. We were the first to incorporate automated scanning alongside security questionnaires. We make it affordable for you to have unlimited users monitoring unlimited vendors and have many customers now monitoring thousands of vendors. Our platform is backed by a world-class security research team. They have a track record of finding data breaches, some of which you've probably read about in the media, and we leverage this expertise to continually improve the product. And finally, our platform is super easy to use. I'd encourage you to check out our Gartner reviews to see what our customers are saying about this. Our platform is getting better all the time. It's been in the market for nearly 3 years, and in that time we've done hundreds of releases and added hundreds of new features. In Q2 alone, we released over 30 new features, and we're not slowing down. There's not enough time to cover everything today, but if you check out the release notes on our support site, you can see everything in one place, and it'll give you a sense of just how quickly we're moving. So today, I'm going to focus on 3 specific challenges our customers have faced and the features we've launched to address these. One of the challenges our customers have faced is how to capture the results of vendor risk assessments within the platform. UpGuard makes it really easy to surface risk information about your vendors through our automated scanning and security questionnaires. We also help you work with your vendors to remediate risks. One of the things our customers have been asking for is a way to document their analysis of these risks, as well as any specific recommendations. For instance, Many of our users work in InfoSec teams within large companies. They get asked to assess vendors by people working in other parts of the company, maybe a project team looking to implement a new technology. The InfoSec team needs to review the security posture of this vendor and then provide a recommendation back to the project team. Until recently, we haven't provided an easy way to do this. Our new risk assessments feature makes it easy to capture and share your analysis of vendor risks. This provides a record based on a point in time that shows the evidence you've reviewed and the conclusions and recommendations you've made. You select the evidence you'll be reviewing. Maybe you sent a security questionnaire. Maybe you reviewed the risks identified through automated scanning. We take a snapshot of this evidence, so as the vendor's risk profile changes over time, you can still see exactly what it looked like when you conducted your review. You then capture your analysis, which risks you're concerned about and why, as well as specific recommendations based on this. You can share this assessment with your stakeholders by inviting them into the platform or sending them a PDF. And you can easily track which vendors have been assessed and when. This helps you manage an ongoing program of periodic assessment. By capturing risk assessments in UpGuard, you get a record for yourself and any other stakeholders interested in how you manage vendor risk. Think internal and external audit, your customers, and increasingly regulators like the SEC in the US or APRA in Australia. The next challenge we address for our customers is how to quickly identify which vendors are exposed to particular risks. So imagine your boss has just read about a new vulnerability that impacts a database. Say it's MongoDB. They come to you and want to know which of your vendors are exposed to this. Until now, UpGuard has made it easy to look at a vendor and see all of their risks, but it's been trickier to look at a risk and see all of the vendors impacted by it. Our new portfolio risk profile makes it simple and fast to see all the vendors exposed to particular risks. It shows all the risks your vendors are exposed to in one place and lets you drill down into individual risks to see which vendors are exposed. To let you hone in further, you can filter this in multiple ways. For instance, show all the vendors labelled as Tier 1 with this risk, or show all the dangerous services these Tier 1 vendors are exposing to the internet. We've made it as flexible as we can to help you answer whatever questions you get asked. And of course, you can export the results, including any filters you've applied, and easily share them. The third challenge our customers have shared with us is that they are spending too much time responding to questionnaires. Our customers are telling us they are increasingly being assessed themselves. If this is happening to you, you'll know how time-consuming it can be. You get emailed an Excel spreadsheet, often containing hundreds of questions, and get asked to fill it in and email it back. But the questions are basically the same as the ones you've answered 10 times before. So you start digging through your sent folder for your previous responses, and you copy and paste the answers. Just like we've helped improve the way you assess your vendors, you now want a better way to respond when you get assessed. Our shared profile feature lets you proactively publish security-related info, share it with your customers instead of completing questionnaires. The info you share can include any of the questionnaires available within the UpGuard platform, as well as audit reports and any other security documents. When a customer asks to assess you, just point them to your shared profile. You can provide access to anyone. They don't need to be UpGuard customers. And you can control how long they have access for. You also get a log of who's looked at it and when. If you've ever completed a questionnaire within UpGuard, you can easily convert this to a shared profile, and we're happy to help you do this. For new customers, we even offer a free assessment now when you sign up. You answer a questionnaire and we review your response, and identify any risks. We then help you convert this response to a shared profile. As it's becoming more common to be both conducting and responding to assessments, we are all motivated to move away from this reliance on bespoke questionnaires. It saves time for everyone. So I've talked through 3 of the features we released in Q2 and want to finish by talking about some of the things we're working on now, which will be released this quarter. One of the areas we're continuing to improve is our reporting. We've worked hard to make sure you can get data out of the platform easily via our API into Excel or as PDFs for sharing. Our customers use this a lot. And one of the things we've been hearing is that you want a vendor report you can share with people who don't normally access the UpGuard platform. The report needs to have more context, like a description of our methodology, and the risks need to be explained in plain English. So we're working on an all-new vendor report. You'll be able to choose what data you include, risks identified through our automated scanning or questionnaires. If you've conducted a risk assessment, you'll be able to include this as well. It'll make sense to people that have never seen our platform and who might not be InfoSec professionals. The second feature I want to tell you about is what we call additional evidence. Say you need to assess a tech company like Atlassian. They're a big company and you might not even have a contact to send a questionnaire to. If you do have a contact and you send them a questionnaire, it may be difficult to get them to respond. They'll direct you to their website where they publish a lot of security-related information, including audit reports and various security questionnaires they've completed. So how can you incorporate this into your assessment? The new additional evidence feature will let you import security-related documentation into the platform. You'll be able to capture any risks you identify, incorporate these into the vendor's risk profile, and use it as evidence when you conduct a risk assessment. One of our customers recently told us that if they are assessing a vendor that has a current SOC 2 report, and if this report covers the scope of the relationship they have with the vendor, they're happy to use that as the basis of their assessment and not go through the process of sending a questionnaire. Our new additional evidence feature lets them complete their assessment without sending a questionnaire. They can focus their time on the vendors that pose the greater risk to them. And the final new feature I want to talk about is our enhanced vulnerabilities module. This is one of the most widely used features in our platform, and we're making a number of improvements to it. We detect vulnerabilities based on software version information that websites expose. So if a website exposes a header telling us the version of WordPress they're running, we'll identify any vulnerabilities associated with that version. But here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes we're able to verify that the website is definitely exposed to that vulnerability, whereas other times we only know the site may be vulnerable. Right now, our platform doesn't differentiate between these verified and potential vulnerabilities. If you've ever asked a vendor or someone in your own company to fix a vulnerability only to be told it doesn't actually exist, you'll know this is frustrating and embarrassing. So we're going to start telling you whether the vulnerabilities we identify are verified or just potential vulnerabilities. If you confirm that a potential vulnerability does not actually exist, you'll be able to dismiss it. And there's more we're doing. For instance, vulnerabilities will be better integrated into the risk profile so they appear just like all the other risks, and you'll be able to request remediation for individual vulnerabilities. We know this is an area many of you are focused on, and we're looking forward to helping you even more. Some of you would have seen that we work very closely with our customers, including providing early access to new features. If you're interested in participating in our beta program to get early access to these features or any others we work on in the future, please let us know. So to finish up, we're in an industry that continues to change quickly. New threats emerge, data is becoming more distributed, supply chains more complex, and regulatory requirements are increasing. Hopefully you've got a sense of how our platform has evolved and why we feel we're uniquely placed to help protect your data. We're constantly adding to and improving the platform. I've talked through a few of the newer additions, risk assessments, portfolio risk profile, and shared profiles, as well as some of the things we're working on right now, vendor reporting, additional evidence, and vulnerabilities. There's a lot more in the pipeline, and we'll keep working closely with our customers to build out the platform. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thanks for listening, and please reach out with any questions.